with the Plath family.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Jen and this is Fundie Fridays, and here on my channel we talk about Christian fundamentalism while wearing Peter Pan collars, I guess. I just want to point out that I am wearing scrunchies as bracelets because Classically Abby said that it was classic. Today we are going to be talking about the second season of Welcome to Plathville. I don't know if it's streaming on anything right now. I bought the season on Amazon Prime. So this is how this video is going to be structured. I'm going to play you a lovely slideshow that I made. Then me and James are going to go over some key scenes and moments from the season. And then we're going to wrap it all up in a nice little bow for you. So in case you did not see my first Plath video, you don't know who these people are, let's begin. So the Plath family is a quiverful family from Georgia. Quiverful means that the family has formally relinquished control of their family size up to God. Quiverful is not necessarily a denomination, but it's more, I dare say, a lifestyle. You will see large families like this across the spectrum of all religions, denominations, and cultures. Before I knew about fundamentalists, I had always heard the stereotype about Catholics having big families, so this is not necessarily a new thing. The Plath family do not appear to be a part of a specific church or denomination. I know that they do home church, which is another trope that you see of IFB. They are sheltered and strict to a degree that is sometimes even shocking to other homeschooling conservative families. Something that I've also noticed about fundamentalism is that they seek to interact with the secular world as little as possible, almost taking it as a religious practice that they are in the world, but not of the world. Isolation from the outside world, of course, is a great way to conceal abuse. Kim Plath, she's the matriarch. She is known as the neck that turns the head, which I've seen in a lot of Christian circles as maybe not necessarily a bad thing, but it's interesting because Kim teaches this idea that women must submit to their husbands and that the husband is the head of the family. So it's interesting that a lot of times it's actually Kim pulling the strings. This is such an obvious situation too, because everybody points it out. Even Ethan points it out later on in the season. Kim is a naturopathic doctor, emphasis on the question mark there. She is a musician, and she rents the farm from the first season on Airbnb. Kim has been through many traumatic events in her past, such as being the child of an alcoholic, domestic abuse, sexual abuse survivor, as well as losing her son, which we will talk about later. While I am not going to diagnose her with any sort of personality disorder, she does exhibit lots of classic narcissist behaviors. She has horrible boundaries. Barry Plath is a transportation planner. Common comment that I get about the first episode is pointing out when Barry said, "A house divided against itself will fall," and he said that Jesus said that. And many people said, no, that was actually Abe Lincoln. To give him some credit, I did look it up, and it is kind of a paraphrasing of a Bible verse. Jesus knew their thoughts and said to them, "Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself will not stand." I've also had lots of comments saying that we need to give Barry less credit for being a good parent because he actually sucks just as much, and I agree. The kids were not allowed to have sugar, soda, television, video games, radio, or even friends, really. In a lot of these circles, you do hear about siblings as best friends. That is a big hallmark of fundamentalism. Schooling seemed to focus less on academics and more on homesteading and hobbies. Not necessarily a bad thing, just pointing it out. The family was so strict that the kids were not allowed to listen to contemporary Christian music or go to a brick and mortar church. And of course, they have a big emphasis on modesty and purity. Kim and Barry kicked two of their children, Micah and Mariah, out of the house, which I consider to be abusive. And of course, they are friends with the Pearls of No Greater Joy Ministries and To Train Up a Child fame. And once again, we know this because of Jill Rodriguez, because she doesn't go anywhere without taking 100 videos and sharing everybody's personal business. Ethan is the oldest child. He is married to Olivia, mechanic, and he's really good at it. His wife is a photographer. They are estranged from Ethan's family, and that plays out over the next season. And as we will touch on, Ethan is in fact a king. Recently, we found out yet another connection to the Rodriguez family from this video where Ethan is answering a fan's question and implies that Joe Rodriguez was trying to set him up with Nuri.
Ethan date Nuri? Was that the question? All right, I would love to clear the record on this. No, I never dated her.
Much to someone's dismay. Okay.
Yeah, Jill Rodriguez had her sights on me.
And during the last election cycle, we found out that Olivia is being more progressive politically and most likely voted for Joe Biden. Next child is Hosanna. She is not on the show. She is close friends with Nuri Keller, which I was skeptical of at first, but they have been in each other's weddings, so who knows. Hosanna is married to Tim Noble, and they are both musicians. She does not have a social media page. And the last I've seen of her, she was pregnant, and Jill Rodriguez crashed her baby shower. Look at that death grip. Micah and Mariah, they are living on their own, supporting each other. They seem to be doing pretty great. Micah is a model. Mariah is trying to get back into school, and she works several jobs, including working on an album, it seems. Bringing both of them are open-minded, kind, and well-adjusted. The rest of the family consists of children, so I'm not going to comment. Hey, this season of Plathville, Micah is a supermodel.
And I just signed with AEW. I'll
He would
treat
make
you
a great
well.
wrestler.
Like, insane.
Yeah, and
He's got the
Ethan,
story, he's got the name. Nah, Ethan's out there fixing cars. We'll get to him.
tag team.
Maybe Isaac. Give it a few years.
Okay.
All right, what are we doing? We got this house. They're living on their own. 17, living on her own. It's cool, but also, like, fucked up. Like, it's kind of messed up that, Kim kicked out a 17-year-old girl. Not entirely sure how that's legal.
In Georgia, they probably don't have any laws.
Yeah, it's...
They don't have laws in Georgia.
To say, it's a wasteland.
So Kim and the main family, I guess, moved to a different house, but in the same neighborhood as Olivia and Ethan and Micah and Mariah. And if you didn't already know, the farm is on Airbnb, so they moved, and it's stupid. But what makes this house special is they have a prayer closet for Lydia.
Gotta make sure you have that prayer closet. Oh, man. Was this in a book or something? Like, why do all the families have this weird device?
Prayer closet is in the Bible.
Because...
And it's also in Carrie, which I've received a lot of comments about.
I feel like...
Lydia is not likely to rebel, which makes her a good child. I remember that therapist talks about Plathville, was saying that family members inherently will assume roles in the family, not even, like, they're not told to assume them, but they do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Well, no, and we've talked a lot about that. While we were watching, we kept just talking about how tragically well-trained, I think was the phrase I used a couple of times for Lydia. When you're living in a family like that, you come up with your survival instincts and you figure out the way you're going to do okay. For people like Mariah and Micah, to a lesser extent, it's rebellion, but for someone like Lydia, it's toxic conformity. Mm-hmm.
Do you get your love and affection by being the perfect child, the perfect homemaker? Do you get your love and affection by being the rebel? Do you get your love and affection by being the cutest and the most innocent? Do you get your love and affection by being a suck-up? It was really eye-opening. This scene is really cute. Ethan takes Olivia out in this jalopy.
His jalopy is rad. I want to ride in the jalopy because it probably rattles and it's probably like riding the... Did you ever go on the Ninja at Six Flags St. Louis? I feel like it'd be like that. It'd just beat the crap out of you, but it'd be so much fun.
No, but I rode the Batman and my tooth came out.
Ah.
So Micah and Mariah come to visit the family, and Kim is back on her bullshit, and it's really terrible. Pointing out earlier, Micah's dressed to keep things calm, and Mariah's dressed to agitate.
Yeah, Mariah knows what she's doing, and I respect it. Because I think at this point, she's the only active antagonism that Kim gets, and somebody needs to stand up. This passive-aggressive empire thing just needs to fall.
Stop. When they come over, it's to see the siblings, not to see us.
I
wonder why.
Where my hug at? You are the where my hug at guy at every crappy anime convention. Kim, that's you.
So Micah and Isaac are playing guitar, and of course Kim comes in to stare at them, and I don't care if the producers told her to do that or not. Like, I'm sure she was like, yeah, I'll go in there and stare at him and make it uncomfortable. You don't have to ask me twice. So.
They can't, like, that's the thing. Like, it's like, oh, the producers set that shot up. You didn't have to do it. Okay? You could have told him, hey, isn't that going to make me seem like a creepy, invasive parent? I earnestly believe that the concept of creepy and invasive, just like Kim is not on board with it. She does not even like on board. They're not on the same planet. She doesn't understand that this is weird. And it's very important as you're watching all of this. I don't know. I think we have to figure out whether it's weird, whether she thinks it's weird or not.
I don't think she cares. Okay, so a secondary plot line of this whole season is Lydia has a guy that she likes, but she won't say who it is, and I don't blame her at all. They're in that weird purity culture where even a nice note or a wink is basically a proposal. People are more concerned with, I don't want to get my feelings involved. I don't want to show interest until XYZ, because even if they believe in such things as mind virgins, girl defined. Like your thoughts, having impure thoughts is just as bad as doing impure things. And then we find out later in the season that it was a moot point anyway, but I'm sure it was a very meaningful relationship for Lydia, but it just shows she found out that he had a girlfriend. It was almost like being broken up with, but they weren't in a relationship, but just the fact that they were in the talking phase at all is the mark of a serious relationship in these circles, and I just really wanted to touch on that.
And this is also the point where Kim is telling them that she has eyes and ears everywhere. That's not the phrasing she uses, but that's what she wants to indicate. The idea that, what was that she said? What was the specific thing?
She was like, I always know what you're up to.
There it is.
People
I
send
know
me
what you're up to.
pictures of all your, just a bunch of people. And she won't name who. And he's like, interesting. We know that you know. They have social media. But she used this as a power play to be like, see, I'm watching you. You can't, I just can't imagine how frustrating that would have been in the situation, and I'm very proud of them. They did a really great job in this.
And it's so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary because I know one of the things we talk about consistently, and I think that this whole conversation emphasizes it really well, was that damn it, you two raised some good kids. They're good people. They're succeeding. They're trying really hard, and you're treating them like shit for nothing. You don't even seem attached to the morals anymore.
I know you have a boyfriend. I don't want to talk about that. Fucking love you.
Boom!
Queen. That's good boundaries.
That will not be up for discussion.
They get into talking about, Barry's fucking smile. I just want to smack it off his face. And I don't usually say that, but you know of. And they are talking about, Micah's like, please, can you at least give my younger siblings a better education? And then, of course, they flip it back around. And Kim's like, well, I tried to give you homework, but you wouldn't do it. As if it is the child's fault.
Yeah, that is
every single thing is turned back into the kids. Are they adults or not?
Well, that is something you see consistently throughout this. Is if I don't recall a moment where Kim ever legitimately took responsibility for anything in full. Every time she even pretended to take responsibility, it was with a writer. I gave you homework, you didn't do it. Well, okay. But Kim seems to the fundamental problem here is that Kim doesn't seem to understand that she was the parent. This was not an equal relationship. You had more responsibility than they did, and you blew it. And that is a consistent thing you see throughout this. Yeah, here it's the same thing. Kids are setting boundaries, and Kim is deflecting. There's the line. We saw the line. We see things we wish we'd done differently, and now we're changing it, so it's fine.
Yeah, everything's fixed. Don't worry about it, guys.
They're
doing ballet now, so
I think it really this is something you need to interact with the Plaths is that okay.
Oh, I forgot. She also mentions that they don't have diplomas, they don't have GEDs. I have heard rumors that they don't have social security numbers, but I feel like that's probably not true. You think Ethan wouldn't have said something by now?
Well, and if Ethan ain't got no social security number, that fucking modeling agency sure and shit fucking helped him file the paperwork.
Micah, but I know what you mean.
Oh, fuck. Well, Olivia made him do it.
Sure, yeah.
Anyway.
You can really see throughout this series how every single one of these kids is coping with their trauma differently. Mariah shuts down. She gets really quiet when she talks, and she does the 1,000-yard stare, and she shifts uncomfortably, something that I understand for reasons we won't get into today. Ethan confronts it head on, almost not with anger, but with
righteous fury.
Micah, he seems like the type that he didn't speak up very much in this conversation, but he's very much the type of person that when conflict is arising, he just wants it to shut off. Just ignore it.
I also get the vibe here, and this is me spitballing a little bit, but I think because when we find out later in the season, I think Micah knows that he's about to get out of here. I think this Micah was already in touch with the modeling agency at this point and was like, I'm just running out the clock. Say whatever you want, Mom. Mariah is nervous and has to live here for a little bit, and the singing career that she's going for is not nearly as far along as Micah's modeling career, at least at this point, so she doesn't have that same way out. So she knows that she has to deal with this bullshit for a lot longer. Whereas, Micah's just, okay, Mom, say whatever you want.
We couldn't talk to you about anything.
Oh, that was something I wanted to say, too, was...
Is that our problem? Yes!
Yeah. Beautiful. Good work. You're doing great. But that was one thing I was going to say. She was talking about how OU scored in the 95th percentile. Well, if a kid who's scoring in the 95th percentile isn't turning in their assignments, what is that usually a sign of? Boredom and lack of motivation. So you were probably, here's my guess, is that because Kim is lazy, sorry, not really. Kim is lazy, and she probably was giving all these kids same range assignments. Mariah was bored. She was probably doing shit 3 or 4 levels down below her grade level. Can we think of any other child that she's now currently putting through something way below her grade level? Kim has used her approval, as the carrot at the end of the string to get Mariah to do what she wanted her to do. Yeah. The problem is Mariah just learned about the grocery store. Mariah can go out and get her own carrots. And by that I mean Mariah has figured out that she can find her own happiness and her own path and her own self-approval. And so Kim is going to double down on making her feel like shit because it's a desperation ploy, in my opinion. And this is all speculation, but in my opinion, I think she's getting worse towards Mariah. Now, spoilers later, they buckle later, but at this point in the season, I think Kim was ready to double down and try and get her daughter back. I think she was going to do it through making her feel like shit even more. I realized this lady done disappeared off the season after this episode. I thought she was the lady in the car later on down in the season. Right. Nope.
Giving away pieces of your heart. Michael's a model. He's getting his flirt on. It's a whole thing. It's not really that interesting to me, I will say.
They're cutting down trees.
So, in this part, Barry is, this is all for the camera. He's trying to make up for the fact that he didn't give his other kids a sex talk by trying to have one on camera with the youngest kid, and it's super awkward, and, obviously this wasn't going to do anything.
It's interesting.
Because no kid is going to want to be filmed and talk about their first, wet dream.
Season 2 is a lot more produced. They're trying to create storylines. And I think part of that is developing a face turn arc for Barry.
You're going to have to explain that to the
viewers. Face turns and heel turns. Faces in wrestling are good guys, and heels in wrestling are bad guys. And when a person switches their character, it's called a turn. So if you are a bad guy and you become a good guy, it's turning to a face. So it's a face turn. And they're trying to give Barry a face turn here, but they seem to have forgotten that most of us watched season 1. Yeah. And the whole complaint with Barry was that he was never there. So I'm not buying it now that they're fucking woodsmen. It's Barry's off selling securities or whatever his fucking job is. He's not there. And so then later on in the season, spoiler alert, when Ethan responds with, "It's nice for you to say you love me on camera," don't that tell us something?
In the last scene we skipped over, Olivia's having a bad day, and Ethan is kind of being annoying to her, but they make up, and he's a king, and we love him, so... Mariah invited Lydia over for brunch. She's playing a little prank on her. She's going to make her think that they're eating cereal for dinner, which is really funny. And, yes, malto meal.
Colossal Berry Crunch!
And the mom shows up, and it's weird, and I do get the feeling that she wasn't supposed to be there.
Continuing our multi-part series of Kim knowingly inserting herself into places she's not wanted. That could just be the name of the show. Kim knowingly inserting herself into places she's not wanted. Season 2. And she knows what she's doing. You can look at her posture and you can tell. We don't need no fucking audio for this. You can look at her and tell she knows she's in hostile territory. She doesn't belong because she doesn't respect boundaries, but damn it, I'm the mom. And I did a good job. And you can't be mad anymore. Making that steak, mac and cheese, and salad.
Yeah, she ended up making an actual real meal. It was cute. And I love watching these two interact. I touched on it a little bit earlier in my slideshow, but I found a bunch of videos of the Plath family that Joe Rodriguez had taken, and so this is before they're famous, this is before the TV show, before they knew they were being watched. I saw Lydia and Mariah being the cutest little sisters, giggling, and... You can tell that they have a really good bond, and Lydia is acting like her mom in a lot of ways, and that's not her fault.
What really irritates me, because I want to highlight, anybody has a problem with Lydia wanting to dress modestly or wanting to be a Christian or wanting to, be more careful about dating or whatever the fuck they call it. Like, that's not a problem. Do you, Lydia? The problem is that Kim's unnecessary morality robbed Lydia and Mariah of so many sweet experiences that they could have had together. These two could have been thick as thieves. There's no reason for them to be so antagonistic except for one person's influence.
This scene is actually about this guy that Lydia likes that I told you. He's no good. You can do better than him, girl, okay?
Then Lydia? Lydia can do better than him? We don't even know him.
Well, he didn't make time for her, so...
You're right.
Not a king.
It's cool. He rides a motorcycle.
Okay, so this is Lydia's not boyfriend, now boyfriend. He rides a motorcycle. We all know that bad boys ride motorcycles, so...
When I was going through my motorcycle phase, that's the exact helmet I put on my list. It's a $250 helmet.
This guy was a model with Micah. I think that's how he met Mariah.
Gorgeous. He's a model. He's like Linda Evangelista.
Are you ready for the next episode?
Ladies and gentlemen, here's Mariah's boyfriend, every quarterback.
Olivia is expressing herself through body modifications, a tried and true passion of many young 20-somethings. He doesn't like him, but he's letting her explore, and it's cute. Everything Ethan does is awesome.
Well, and I think through Ethan and Olivia here, throughout the whole season, you kind of see, it's interesting to see. We talk a lot about toolkits or toolboxes here, and like, the tools you have in your kit, you get them from your parents, you get them from life that help you solve problems, right? Ethan has a very small toolkit because he was raised, like, in a bubble, and so he doesn't have, he was only getting 2 or 3 people's influence at any given time. He's developing his toolkit. He's learning how to talk to his wife and learning how to talk through problems and not just, get upset and go fix a carburetor. Yeah, versus you see someone with a huge toolkit who's clearly been to therapy and talks like a therapist. I'm dead serious, Olivia. I'm dead serious. You'd make a great therapist. It's just interesting to see them interact, and one of the cool things I do think about the season is that you get to see that toolkit develop in real time, and I think it's really sweet.
Okay, so now they're showing the old farm, and they're cleaning it up for the Airbnb, and they're going through the old prayer closet, and Kim is seeing the things that Mariah had put up on the wall, and she's like, it's like poetry or a story. What's it saying? What is she trying to communicate? It's like very obvious what she's trying to communicate.
What's she trying to communicate here? The girl will be free. She can't be silenced. No one can put her down. Have no idea. Can't even possibly. I will literally fight my mother to get out of this house. It's a beautiful metaphor. I can't. It's amazing.
Oh, so they're talking about how they weren't allowed to celebrate 4th of July.
Oh.
And Ethan talks about how they weren't allowed to celebrate pretty much any holiday. Their parents always found something that was wrong with it. And I just wanted to point out that, like the Jehovah's Witnesses, they can't celebrate any holidays, but they don't get to have any fun. At least the Jehovah's Witnesses have Caleb and Sophia cartoons. Hey, I'm crazy kitties!
Happy birthday, America!
Okay, so back on the farm.
What's going on?
Back on the farm, the Plaths are hosting this strange Australian fucking quiverful fundamentalist couple, and so anyways, they're world travelers and they're stupid and I hate them, and we're gonna skip through them. Episode 4, and fun fact, originally the intro for this episode was going to be Micah modeling to I'm Too Sexy, but it got copyright claimed, so that's why you have the new one. So Mariah is teaching a yoga class, and her dad comes and interrupts, and it's really fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, this is the reality TV time-honored tradition of orchestrating trauma for entertainment. How can we fuck with Mariah the worst? Let's bring her dad to her yoga class and just film it and see what happens. Annoys me is that I recall them kind of turning it into a positive, like right at the end of the segment. And this is, again, what we talked about earlier. They really, really need you to believe that everyone can be redeemed. That is the arc they're betting on for season 3. You can already tell. This situation is a private space. She's at work. She's a professional. See, and this is the thing, that Barry thinks this is cute. He thinks he's being a good dad, but I mean, when your daughter has a trauma response to your arrival, you need to recognize that, hey, maybe you need to make up for some things you did in the past. Maybe she doesn't want you in her workplace. Maybe she needs a place that's for her, that you're not allowed to just invade when you feel like it. And it's especially messed up because she's not good enough to stay in your home. It's fine as long as you go invade where she's at. Oh, and by the way, now both the parents have invaded her space. The double down is in effect.
In this scene, Lydia is asking for a cell phone, very reasonable, and they're like, well, we gotta give you a dumb phone before we can give you a smartphone. As if it isn't their fault that they sheltered her from technology so much.
Even by their logic, I'm gonna go into Kim and Barry brain for a second. She's the good kid. If Lydia can't earn it, then how the fuck were the other ones supposed to? Because here's the thing, Kim, and I'm talking right to you. Mariah got her smartphone, and if Lydia ain't, then what's Lydia's motivation gonna be to stick around? Mariah's getting all the things that Lydia's asking for, and Mariah's the bad kid. So what kind of message are you trying to send here? What flaming hoop does Lydia have to jump through to get a goddamn galaxy?
Mariah breaks up with Mariah, and I just want to say that I don't like him very much. I'm sorry if you're watching this. I do not like you.
Well, he face turns at the end.
I guess. He's still a Chad.
He's a Chad, but I respected the face turn at the end.
Yes, he's there for Mariah, and that's something that not a lot of people can claim to be doing for her. So
you're cool. And you're tall, and I think tall people.
They get back together, don't worry about it. Oh yeah, so the not boyfriend wants to come meet the family even though they're not dating, and normally that would be like a happy time for somebody bringing home somebody that's close to you, to your family members, but for her it's a whole,
yeah,
dog and pony show. So plus it was probably orchestrated by the producers, and once again she wants her mother's love, so she's trying to get approval, and it just sucks.
Yeah.
I hate this, and their fucking ballet is stupid. There, I said it.
Welcome to season 2.
God, I can't imagine. I hate alcohol so much.
Watch someone develop a problem right in front of your eyes.
Like this better than beer. Oh,
no 22-year-old should be that comfortable drinking whiskey out the bottle.
Hey, Abby says it's classy to drink with your husband, so this is a perfectly fine scenario.
And Ethan, I don't doubt you for a second. You're a king. You on that
so
king
Ethan
shit.
doesn't like weed, but he'll drink whiskey straight from the bottle. Yeah, we had to make something up.
That's literally all we got. Otherwise, he's perfect, and it's like annoying because he's 22. I was so lame at 22, and he's so rad. It's really irritating.
And I just want to talk about how much I love this scene. It really demonstrates a difference in their personalities, and I love the conversations through music. It's just, it's classic.
Yeah, my grandpa played ragtime trumpet. My grandpa always liked to play at the dances because he couldn't get a date, so that way he got in.
Okay. And then so he plays ragtime music, and I have heard him playing on one of Joel Rodriguez's videos, and Olivia plays more classical, and I don't know, it's just really cool.
Again, you get to watch the whole season. This is like the most wholesome development of a relationship I've ever seen.
This is satanic demonic behavior according to Kim. These two married couple playing piano together. I just want to point that out.
Yep.
This is Micah and Isaac and Barry fishing, hunting, loving,
hunting and fishing and loving every day.
Hunting and fishing and loving every day.
Of course it has to be supervised, and I hope they show it, but Micah's like, what am I going to do, show them pornography?
Yeah. I'm surprised Kim didn't just come out of the woods. Yeah. How y'all doing? How you doing? I just wanted to make sure that Barry was having good morals with the kids.
Max and Mariah coming over, and Kim in the first 30 seconds fucks it up. And she hid the girls, which immediately Mariah's tipped off to.
Look at the hug difference. And see, this is why I don't hold it against him, because I think he was trying to get into her head, but and be like, hey, why is this? Is she really into me? Or is her family as fucked up as she says?
Well, he says crazy in quotation marks, which pisses me off, but we'll get to that. And also, fuck you, Kim. Hiding little girls from me.
Are the little girls in the house? Vivitor. See, alright, now he's gonna say, we want to roll them out in phase 2. And I want you to watch his face here, because I think this is the exact moment that Chad gets it.
Chad? Ew!
Did she touch him?
She just said, I just asked her friend or boyfriend to the guy's face. We were dating a week and a half ago or so. This is a nice moment. We're talking about her heartbreak, and Lydia's kind of condescending, but in her own, sweet way.
Now, see, if you'd followed Mommy's advice and never broke up with anyone ever, then this wouldn't have happened. I know I'm being facetious, but that seriously is how this feels. But I think Lydia's developing and growing and, building her toolkit, as we say.
In this scene, we find out that they did not get the house that they wanted, and
it hurt.
That sucks. I know that feeling.
It's so hard just because it was so messed up that Kim and Barry bought a house less than a mile from them. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Oh, so I think this one, they're talking about getting the couple's tattoo,
Yeah.
and it's a whole thing. You'll see it.
Yeah. And they build their toolkit again. So, spoiler alert, the Olivia won the argument. And so, now we're at the tattoo parlor.
Olivia, if you're watching, I'm just saying, I got the hookup, tattoos, piercings, the devil's lettuce. And we got all the wrestling pay-per-views you could ever want, Ethan.
Ethan, your new hobby is right here. We got bros. I'll get some brews. You want some brews? We'll bring some brewskis for the broskis. We're going to hang out. Brew chachos for the bro chachos. You come over, watch wrestling. We're going to do it all. We're going to do Japanese strong style. We're going to do British strong style. They are different things. We're going to do lucha libre. That's a whole separate thing. We're going to do southern style because that's where you're from. We're going to do New York. It's going to be rad. And you live in Georgia. AEW's like 4 hours away.
These two are toying with the idea of getting back together. There's a little romantic tension.
Oh!
Yes!
And then she goes into prayer and we think it's a trauma response, but it's not.
It's fine.
She faked us out.
Like we were talking about, as much abuse as they gave those kids, these kids turned out fucking amazing. You should be happy that in the most intense moment of Mariah's life, she chooses to seek God. Like, isn't that awesome? Isn't that what you wanted?
Can we talk about how king shit for him? He saw the second kiss wasn't a good idea, so he went back in for the hug. That's king shit. That's king shit.
We forgive you, Chad.
Good man, Chad.
So in this scene, Lydia is telling her mom all about this relationship that may or may not have ever existed, and she seems pretty calm about it. I also think she's definitely on edge because she, I don't know, everything Kim does is practiced and technical to the point of you always have to deflect. It's always your kid's fault, and don't show emotion because kids are like dogs and they can smell fear.
Yeah. Oh, also, it's very important to note that Kim never does bad things. Bad things occur. Keep an eye out for that language. Deflection language. All over the place. I can only snap with one.
Lydia and Mariah are having fun dress-up sister time, having a kiki, and it's very adorable.
It would be. I mean, it was adorable. It was sweet, except you have poor Lydia who's not allowed to enjoy the moment at all because she has to think about the fucking...
her mom yelling at her when she gets home for dressing immodestly.
Kim and angrier Kim on her shoulders here.
I can understand. She probably does, that seems like a normal dress to maybe a lot of us, but that is the downright lingerie to a modest person, and I'm sure she does feel really uncomfortable. And there's no problem with dressing modestly at all. But sisters... they seem to think that we hate that.
Sisters should also be able to hang out, and one sister should be like, is this showing too much of my leg? Girl, no, it's fine. And then that's the end of the conversation. But because these two have been mentally and emotionally abused since they were like fucking knee-high to a pig's eye, they can't do that. One of them's anxious, and the other one's irritated. And that's how their fucking interactions go half the time. And it's Kim's fault again.
So they're in California, going on a little relationship rejuvenation road trip, and it's really funny because Ethan
in the Camaro
smells weed. Sour Ocean would be a great strain name.
Wait, is that drugs? I was waiting for her to be like, yeah, you smell drugs, they're in my purse, keep driving. Are we hanging out or not? Did you want to come to California?
I can't play it for you for copyright reasons, and, maybe nobody needs to hear this, but Ethan on this episode talked about the first time he ever masturbated, and let me just tell you, this kid has come out of his shell. They did a whole storyline in this episode about the little brother that's dead. It was very sad and terrible, and I wish they hadn't put it on TV. Max, Mariah, Micah, and his friend are all going on a trip to a river or a lake or something, and they're talking about how they're all Christian homeschooled kids, but they're all, totally different. And Mariah points out that they were so strict they weren't even allowed to listen to Christian music, like contemporary Christian music, only hymns. And they're also talking about college because the girl in the front seat partied the back seat. She was a race fundamentalist and encouraged not to go to college, but she went anyway, and education is a big deal, and it's really cool because Mariah seems to be inspired by this, and I don't know, she's in good company. I'm really happy for her. So they're at a sex ranch or something, learning Tantra, and it's actually a really good scene. We're making fun of it now, but they actually make some breakthroughs.
Yeah. This lady, by the way, miracle worker. Great work. I think it's pretty clear that Ethan got in a little over his head, but a fun way.
This is a big moment for Ethan. He kind of realizes what's been bothering him, what's been bothering Olivia, and he feels like he did not stand up for her well enough in the driveway fight of last season. And it's really important to him that he go and rectify that, and I am so damn proud of Ethan. Like, you'll see how good it is.
All I would add to this is that I know I've been talking a lot about it, but I think this was kind of, you talk about at the end of a lot of seasons, you get the payoff, right? And to me, this was, well, one of the payoffs. Because I think this is the moment where I went, these two gonna be all right.
Yeah.
These two gonna be all right. They got this. Because they're smart. And yeah, I think this was a really good payoff. For anyone who is invested in these two's relationship doing well, this was an incredible moment to see.
He asks them to name something they appreciate about each other, and Olivia says his humor, which is cute because earlier on, she acts annoyed by his corny jokes, but it's cute that she's like, no, I actually do love it. Please keep doing it, And then Triambika asks Ethan something to name that he appreciates about her. Everything.
Boom!
King shit!
Watch her! Oh!
Yeah. That is
and
smooth.
He's looking at her going, that do something? You don't even know how smooth you are! You don't even know! God! That was good.
And then the Triambika's like, no, that's really special. Like, I'm glad that she was there to, be a third party.
Be like, Olivia, stop overthinking it. Because that's the other side, is that sometimes you just gotta be told, just have fun with it.
We're at a photo shoot of Olivia's she's rebranding her business, and I just want to say, Olivia, I need some photos taken, okay? Hit me up. I'll pay you, don't worry. And Ethan throws a surprise picnic, and it's really cute, and it shows that he's, I don't know if they're into love languages, they probably are, but maybe one of her love languages is whatever this is.
Picnics. My love language is picnics.
He gets her a promise ring / new engagement ring, and it's really awesome, and they're going to have a new wedding, preferably without Kim. It's the sweetest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I love it. Mariah's recording a song, and I wrote in my notes, somebody please show her Casey Musgraves.
Yes.
And I agree with myself on that one.
Because this scene is hard.
This next scene is really hard. If you deal with narcissistic parents, it might not be something that you would like to watch. Let me just say that.
Olivia makes sure they park at the edge of the property, which I have to admit I thought was overkill, and
we are all living vicariously through Ethan. If you've ever been in a situation where you were being bulldozed by somebody, where you were not treated well, where, you've just waited your whole life to confront somebody, we are all living through Ethan in this scene. He does it. He is a king. He is a grown-ass man. He is 1,000 times more mature than Barry and Kim. He is demonstrating excellent boundaries.
And the overproduction, this is the one time where it worked because they gave him some great shots.
What I think maybe happened was, I'm sure Ethan told the producer, hey, I'm going to go confront my parents, and they're like, hell yeah, we're going to film it. But obviously, you can see there's a mic pack on several of the kids, so this was set up beforehand, otherwise they wouldn't get such good camera angles, but I truly don't think that Kim and Barry knew exactly what he was going to say. Likely they were like, oh, we're just going to keep playing this game. I get to keep trying to do power moves on Ethan because he's playing along, and you'll see by the end of this conversation, he's done. He's stopping the fucking game. He's flipping the damn
and I mean, he's just, I think, what was the word I could...
And Barry's fucking smug face. Oh my
the whole
God.
time I'm just shouting, haymaker, haymaker, because he is not letting up for a second. Watching Ethan in this conversation is like watching a really good MMA fighter just refuse to stop hitting. Every time they say something, he's got boom, boom. He gives them nothing. And it's amazing.
So he's going no contact. He's saying goodbye. He wants to say goodbye to the kids. Obviously, the kids are a bargaining chip for this family.
This isn't a debate or conversation.
Ooh, check out that. And it's also like, you have set up your lifestyle so that he won't have any other outside connections besides his friends, which are his siblings. So they knew exactly what they were doing.
It's great that you raised such a strong man, and it sucks that you can't fucking see it. This. And
it's just like, oh. I don't know why. I don't know what else I expect him to be doing, but I just hate it.
This is what we call a dressing down. He's
saying you can't be... He's not going to let them talk bad about his wife anymore. He's going to start standing up for himself.
He's making amends, but he's doing it in the most direct, aggressive, non-negotiable way. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that is a bad thing at all. This is how you have to deal with narcissistic parents. They don't respond to anything else. It hurts to watch because he shouldn't have to do
Olivia,
this.
You don't get me.
He shouldn't have to do this. But the fact that he was able to means volumes. Yeah, y'all should be quiet. If you'd listened to your kids before this wouldn't have happened. This is why it's such a great scene. He calls their bluff.
I know that you've been through a lot. And he says, because you caused it. That's fucking right.
Bluff.
Every time she's like, the kids have been through a lot. What the kids have been through. You were the one doing the thing to them.
It's hard to hear that.
It sucks.
It should be hard to hear that. Fix it. And you remember what earlier, y'all, when we talked about face turns and heel turns? They don't try and trick you at the end of this show and make you think they're face turning again. Face turns go through Ethan and Olivia. You don't get it until you make amends with the people you really hurt.
Olivia didn't give me a chance. Yeah.
Yes, because you don't talk that way about your son's wife. And the fact that you think it's okay is disgusting. And the fact that no one has told you that it's disgusting is disgusting. And
You said have a nice life living in bondage, and then he's like, did I say that? I don't remember saying that. Sometimes when people say bad, nasty things, it's not the person that said them that remembers it.
it's the person they were said to.
And that is so fucking true.
And Barry can't get that smile off his face, but you can start to see the rage. Because Barry's angry.
It's nice of you to say that on camera in front of everyone.
No.
God, I fucking love you, Ethan.
Every time he puts up a hand to block his face, there's a fucking undercut, like, right there. That's what I'm talking about. This is verbal MMA, and this is a first-round knockout.
So Olivia's in the car, and now they're like, well, why can't we go to the car? Why can't we see Olivia? Why can't we force ourselves on her?
Look at that heel! Look at that wrapped foot! You know why! Put them shoulders up, young king! Your Honor, my client is positive masculinity incarnate, and he doesn't owe you shit!
Do you have to control how people feel about you, and when you're not in control, you get upset and you lash out on others?
Because narcissists can't handle being in situations where their bullshit will be called out.
That's why they don't like to be filmed.
Boom! Which, honestly, bold choice to take on a TV show.
But she thought that people were going to be like, oh, we love you, Kim. You're doing an amazing job of parenting. Olivia is a horrible devil woman. That's what she thought was going to happen because narcissists always think they're fucking
I can walk on my property!
She's Karening. I can walk on my property. These
That is my wife in the car. These are my children. These are my siblings. Don't fucking stand there like you fucking proved something, you fucking ass.
He's more related to the siblings than she is. And then the kid, you're making things worse. You can tell that this kind of shit happens a lot, just not on camera usually. And she's getting all huffed and red like Karens do.
And you see how strong his posture is? Points. Stops. Beautiful.
We're just gonna say hi. What's the fucking point? You know you're not wanted.
You know you're not wanted. And you as a grown woman should be able to handle that.
I would like me and Olivia to say goodbye to the siblings. And poor Lydia is just, God, every day is a heartbreak for her. She's in the worst possible position, and I don't wish it on anybody.
No. She doesn't deserve it. None of these kids deserve this. They don't deserve to
I
be
watch
treated like
Ethan
pawns.
subtly moving. He's doing it. It's almost like he's doing the calm method.
And the siblings are blocking in, and here's the bluff call, right here.
I guess we'll probably not see them until they're 18. I love that.
Because that was all she had. And watch the desperation. This is where it flips. This is where Barry loses his mind.
She says it's up to Barry, and he says, you're the neck that turns his head, and everybody knows it.
Burn it down, Kingslayer. In spite of all the vitriol. I don't even understand. You Barry fucking Cleaver looking bitch. Look your son in the eye when he's talking to you.
So say hi to Olivia, and immediately they start fucking dashing off.
And here it is.
Oh!
Boom.
You are not going to walk over my
1,
wife.
2, 3. Ding.
Stop the
ding,
match!
Done. Somebody stop the damn match.
Oh, I love it. We love to see it.
Even your own daughter your fucking 9-year-old daughter's calling you off. I love you very particularly. You can fuck off.
Is that dead? He's dead. My light is dead. Ethan talks it over with these two. And
The epilogue we needed to see.
So then they go over, and Lydia's like, oh, I wish you came over more, which is a passive-aggressive thing that she most likely learned from Kim. Not her fault.
Don't blame Lydia for the shitty things she's learned to do to survive.
So these two are visiting. It's fine. It's great. I think it's all orchestrated. Then Kim throws a fucking princess party, and it's really stupid and terrible. And I'll let you go.
If I throw a tea party, will that make everyone forget about the fact that I aggressively expelled your brother out of your life?
And here's the...
Oh, I walked out before this, so this is the actual first time I'm watching this because she told me what was going to happen, and I couldn't.
And here goes. Yep.
Because it's only fun if you're humiliating. Why do you have to be like this?
Are Mariah and Micah at this party?
No, they're not at the party.
Oh, cool. Even better. Everything's fine. We have fun here. There's no manipulation at all. We pies and What did we learn here today?
I think that the first 2 seasons of Plaths are a really interesting experiment in the effects of an escape from narcissistic parenting. I think you're seeing it broad scale. I think in the first season we kind of saw the kids developing their independence, really struggling to separate from the family. But in season 2, we get to see the explosion of independence. And it's, I think, a testament to the fact that the great Greek tragedy in all of this is Tim and Barry raised some damn good kids. There ain't nothing wrong with them. They're good kids. They try hard, they work hard, they take care of their families, they pay their bills, they struggle and fight and learn and experience and do everything they're supposed to do. And because they aren't meeting the 3 or 4 things that Kim and Barry decided are important, they've been legitimately thrown away. And I don't care if Kim and Barry want to pretend that that's not what it is. But you kicked out a 17-year-old, you trashed your son's wife to his and her face and behind their back. Let's just give them a full 360 bath in vitriol. Wasn't that the word? Yeah, I think in season 2 we saw the kids setting their boundaries for good. And I am incredibly excited to see season 3.
So, in case you didn't know, I recently quit my day job, and YouTube is now my full-time job. So I'm gonna need them sponsorships, honey, and let me demonstrate to any sponsors out there watching why I would be a great sponsor. I love watching Welcome to Plathville on TV. Come on, you know how many questions I get every day about these same outfits? Are you like me and only have Seagram's Escapes and iced coffee in your fridge? Maybe you need Hello. Hey there, it's me. I forgot to tell you during the video that I launched a new shirt on Bonfire. It is kind of a spoof of a Girl Defined design, and the quote is from the Classically Abby video. It's like a play on how those two are always talking about how terrible they are and how we're all just overweight, sexually broken sinners. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I think it was a really cool format. I'd like to do that again sometime. Remember to consensually smash that like and subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. If you'd like to support me financially, go ahead and subscribe to me on Patreon. I hope everybody is safe and happy and have a very blessed day.
This is the Plath family. Aren't they awesome? Okay, signing off for now.